Hi everyone, Ben Bergman here of PowerandMight.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to talk about something a little bit different. And this is my first video that I've done in a while, so I figured I'd change up the pace a little bit and talk about one of the biggest fitness trends in the world today, I guess, is yoga. And I believe that it's not always a spiritual, blissful type exercise program, but I feel like it could be great fun, and how it could really change how you really think about training, and in terms of like where it came from, how it got to be there, and or even how it could change your life. Who knows? So, but for the most part, where it originated from, what most people don't realize, is from, at least something I believe it does, is from the Middle East, because that's where the biggest sport of that time was wrestling, and these Hindu, Iranian, Middle Eastern wrestlers, basically, would do these exercises that helped them with combat techniques, with wrestling techniques on how to do takedowns, where to be flexible, where to be strong, where to work the different angles for wrestling, and what was called kushti. And so it was more of a physical form of conditioning, not so much of a spiritual, blissful that we mostly know today. So when it became more spiritual, how should I put this? It taught people how to be more downward, more calm, more peaceful, more spiritual. No shit. So, it taught how to handle stress, I guess, in a certain environment where you see some of the biggest yoga housing, or whatever the hell you call them, retreats or whatever, or yoga studios, sorry. Where you learn to handle yourself in a really, really hot environment. Like some of those studios put like 90 degrees in their freaking rooms, and you're pretty much sweating to death trying to be at peace with yourself. So I believe it's not always just a spiritual thing, and I always like to look at it as kind of the combination of not only having physical movements or just holding certain poses, but being more in tune with your body, more physically than spiritually. So now with the challenging poses that some people do, like the headstands, the bridges, or what some people call the wheel pose, where your back is in an arch and you're on your hands, and your hands and feet are flat on the ground. So some of those are just really gnarly. Those are some of the most gnarly poses, and I love doing some of those things. Especially even like in a wrestler's bridge. That is a yoga pose. So, and it's always something to build yourself up to, I guess, and not just physically progressing to a more challenging pose, but how to breathe into the pose, how to live into the pose. And some of those poses, although they're challenging, they may challenge your body, but they challenge your mind even more if you really wanted to look at it from that philosophical perspective. So, and then I also wanted to talk about, especially when it comes to yoga, like I said, I believe it came from wrestling in the Middle East. So it's kind of fitting that an ex-pro wrestler by the name of, drum roll please, Diamond Dallas Page, one of the one of the leading fitness gurus in the world today, bar none. And 3-time world heavyweight champion in the WCW days, where the Attitude Era of the WWE was at its peak, pretty much. Or pretty much towards the end of it, I guess. Still at its peak, I guess. But DDP was... this is the type of guy who came out of nowhere in the early mid-90s, and in his mid to late 30s. Most wrestlers are retired at that time. So after the battles and taking on some of the best in the business, he turned to a new career, and it became yoga. And he brought it to a new element that certain people like myself really, really love, because it involves muscle control, it involves balance, it involves strength, it involves regaining flexibility, and it involves a lot of things, even martial arts, for crying out loud. So it was just one of those things that I saw, and I figured I'd try it. And holy shit, that thing was awesome. And it was really fun to do. That's where I get back to that's the word again. Fun. So that's the thing. You want to make your training fun. You want to make it creative. You want to make it, as DDP would say, make it your own. And so now I'd like to turn to a part of what yoga has, and what part of the all-time physical culture styles was muscle control. Now, believe it or not, muscle control is not even practiced a whole lot today, unless you're in bodybuilding or something like that, when they do their muscle poses, like the most muscular pose, or the double biceps, or whatever. But muscle control back in the day, especially in the early 20th century, by guys like Maxick and Otto Arco and even Eugene Sandow. Those guys took posing to a level that's not even matched today. And so when you turn to certain programs to add in muscle control or dynamic resistance or visualized resistance or whatever, it becomes a whole new perspective. It becomes a whole new program. It's not yoga anymore. It's yoga with power, with passion, with life. So it becomes totally different. And so with DDP yoga, from what I know and experience and what I've learned about it, is that it teaches muscle control and within a whole other level. Especially when you do some of the exercises, like some of the stances that he does. If you ever see those videos of him doing that, some of them are just insane. But I like it. I like it a lot, and it's one of those things I would love to do basically every single day. Maybe not always every day, but something fun to do. Something that even for a few minutes is just like, holy crap, this was awesome. So anyway, thought I'd share that with you guys today. And like I said, this is my first video in a long time, so bear with me here. So be awesome, have fun, be creative, and check out DDP Yoga when you get a chance. Click on the link below and let me know what you think, and let me know what you think of this video. Alright, thank you very much. Bye, guys.